Hi Lucy, it is Wednesday and I'm coming to you in awful quality because my laptop has decided that it does not want to work anymore, so I am actually recording this on my roommate's laptop using Quick Capture, and I'm hoping that the internet does not decide to stop working because that would be terrible. So I think this is recording. I hope so, because if it's not, I'm going to be mad. I am doing the discussion on Series 6 of Doctor Who today, and I have it here on my Kindle, which is where that little light that's lighting up my face is coming from. And we both agreed that Series 6 of Doctor Who was very different than the other series because it was very centralized around the main storyline of the Doctor's death, which is shown in the first episode, The Impossible Astronaut. So in that aspect, it was very different from any of the other series because it was so focused on a particular storyline. So we both agreed that it was very different from the other series, but I also liked the fact that it was different from the other series because it's nice every once in a while for a show to try to do something different and mix it up a little to keep the show interesting and not be repetitive. But I am glad that it seems as if Doctor Who's going to go back to being random and fun like it was before. But it was nice that they did try to do something different, and I think it worked out pretty well because it was a very interesting and suspenseful series. So that I liked about it, but it was very different than the traditional Doctor Who where everything's very random and fun and there's not necessarily some big storyline that it's working towards, but it's still fun to watch and keeps you interested. So, like I said, I'm recording this on my roommate's laptop, so any issues, there's going to be some, so just try to ignore that. I'm trying to keep talking since I am doing Quick Capture and I can't edit this. I'm trying to keep the flow of conversation going. So, like I said, the first episode of Series 6 was The Impossible Astronaut, which is when we see the Doctor die, a future version of the Doctor die. So the entire series we are wondering how exactly we are going to stop the Doctor from dying, because we do not want that to happen. So that is a big thing that goes on with this series, is how are we going to stop the Doctor from dying? So you have The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, which was a two-part thing. That was also another thing that we said about Series 6 had a lot of two-part episodes, a lot of the stuff went together. So The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon were the first two, and that was all about the Doctor and all that stuff. Then the next episode was The Curse of the Black Spot. I thought this was a good episode, but it wasn't a great episode. Not that I didn't like it, it just seemed like, I don't know, it was kind of weird. I mean, Doctor Who is weird usually, but I don't know, the episode didn't really capture my interest like episodes usually do. But on the contrary, the next episode, The Doctor's Wife, was one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who ever, because that is the episode when the TARDIS takes on a human figure. So the TARDIS is able to walk and talk and think and communicate and all of that kind of stuff like a regular person. So we get to hear from the TARDIS, which I really loved that. Since the Doctor's been with the TARDIS for so long, it was cool to be able to see what the TARDIS thinks. So I really like that episode, and the acting from the girl that played the TARDIS was absolutely amazing. And then the next episodes after that, The Doctor's Wife, was another two-part episode, which I actually really liked this one. It was the Rebel Flesh and the Omos People. I really liked these episodes just because it was such a good storyline. I think the fact that there were two doctors is what I liked the most, because it was so funny to see the Doctor talk to himself. So I really liked that aspect of those episodes. It's kind of like being able to see the Doctor talk to the TARDIS, being able to see the Doctor talk to himself was also very interesting, and was a very different side to Doctor Who, I guess. So I really liked that about that episode. And then the next episode was also a two-part episode. I'm sorry if this is flashing a lot. Like I said, issues to be expected. The next episode was also a two-part episode, which was the mid-series finale, is A Good Man Goes to War and Let's Kill Hitler. And these... Sorry, I had a moment. That list is weird because... Okay, sorry. I was having a moment where I couldn't remember the one episode. Okay. A Good Man Goes to War was the huge reveal of who River Song is, which I loved that episode to see sort of a different side of the Doctor, to see this Doctor that everyone fears, that he can raise an army, you know, in 5 minutes, you know, he raises an entire army and takes over the whole base. And it was amazing to see that side of the Doctor, because we know that he's powerful, but I feel like this was the first time that we really got to see to the extent of what he is capable of, that he could raise an army and just take over the way he does. It was definitely a great way to convey why he is so feared by all of the creatures in the universe. So I really liked that about the episode. And then the other one was the Let's Kill Hitler episode, which the title is hilarious. I love the title of it. This dealt a lot with River Song also, and how she got to the point where she was, how she ended up in jail, how she ended up being the one to kill the Doctor, and all of that stuff. So that was a big River Song central episode. It basically was all about her character and how she got to where she was. Next up, which was this pickup of the other half of the series, was Night Terrors. This episode I both liked and disliked. It wasn't really good, I didn't think. That could just be because I found those doll things to be extremely creepy, but I don't know exactly what it was. I just didn't, wasn't super fond of the episode. Apart from the whole realization of who the boy was, I didn't really love the episode in any way. So after that was The Girl Who Waited, which was about Amy Pond, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember that episode very well. So let's click on it and see if it'll bring up the page to tell me what the episode was about. and my Kindle's dying. I'm having so many issues lately, guys. My laptop died, and I don't have my Kindle charger, so I'm having to use my roommate's. It's just everything all at once is just stopping to work. So I wish I could remember. Oh, okay, The Girl Who Waited. I remember this episode now. This was the episode when Amy gets separated from the doctor and Rory while they're in the hospital thing, and she's trapped there for years before they get to her, and all of that good stuff. So it kind of dealt with Amy and how she has waited so long for everything. She waited for the doctor, she waited for Rory, she is the girl who waited. So that was an Amy-centric episode. The episode after that was The God Complex, which was another episode I didn't really like. I never really got into it. That was the one when they were in the hotel and everyone's worst fears came to life and scared them to death, or something along those lines. And it just, I don't know what it was, I just didn't really get into the episode. There was the one character, I think he was supposed to be like some sort of race of mice or something, or rat or something like that. I thought his character was really funny, but apart from that, the only part that was interesting was when the doctor saw his worst fear, but they didn't tell you what his worst fear was. They just showed him seeing it, but everyone assumes that he saw himself, because it does seem that the doctor's worst fear is himself. So I agree with that theory, that that's what his worst fear is. After that is Closing Time, another episode I just cannot remember. So let's see what it has to say about that. I'm sorry that this video is me talking a lot. I knew it was going to be long because I'm discussing the whole series, but it's not made better by the fact that I can't edit anything. So Closing Time is the one with the guy when he comes back, Craig. Yes, okay, Craig, the Craig episode. I loved this episode because it had Craig in it, and Craig is hilarious. So I really like this episode. I like that they brought Craig back. I hope they bring him back again because he is completely brilliant. I would not argue if Craig became the Doctor's companion because he's very funny and I really, really like him. And when I saw that they were doing another episode with Craig in, I was very, very happy. So I would love if they did more stuff with his character. And then the Series 6 finale was The Wedding of River Song, which was all about how the Doctor escapes his death from the first episode. So after the whole series, you're wondering how he's going to not die. It finally comes to the huge conclusion of how he's going to escape his death, which is inevitable, which of course we all knew the Doctor was going to escape the inevitable because he is the Doctor. So this episode was very good. It was very suspenseful, and I never quite knew what was going to happen. I was very confused and yelling at my computer because the Doctor was not allowed to die. And of course it ends with him going inside a robot of himself and tricking everyone into thinking that he is dead. So I really liked the writing. I liked that they brought it, because after seeing the first episode of him dying and then hearing all of the stuff about how it was inevitable and that he couldn't avoid his death and that he had to die, I was just like, well, that obviously can't happen, so how is he going to live? So I loved the writing of it, of how he avoids dying. I really liked that aspect of it. So after all of that, and the Doctor avoids his death, we are now up to Series 7 and Asylum of the Daleks, which Lucy is going to discuss tomorrow, hopefully, possibly tomorrow. It'll be this week, promise. So she will discuss Asylum of the Daleks, and then we'll just have to see after that. Like I said, computer not working, so I'm going to do my best to keep doing videos, but it's going to be difficult, or it's going to be unedited videos like this until I get my laptop back up and working. So we'll figure it all out. Lucy, feel free to send me messages on Facebook. You can't Skype me, but you can still send me messages on Facebook. I will still get them. I can still check them on my Kindle. So if you need to talk to me, send them through Facebook, because that will probably be the easiest way to